In the US, why does everyone say if your state is at will employment when 4,950 states are at will? It isn't common knowledge because most people aren't lawyers or work in HR, and most posters don't disclose their location. It seems like one of those fun facts that people would have just stored away in their brain. Did you know 49 out of 50 states are at will employment, the only exception being Montana? My understanding is that this fun fact is rather new, and it tends to take some time for tidbits like that to get around. Likewise for saying if your state is at will employment, it used to be a reasonable disclaimer, and people have just stuck with it. I think people confuse at will employment with right to work employment. It fell through the cracks because most people are not lawyers or HR representatives and would have no reason to know that 4,950 states are at will. I didn't until I saw your question. Plus Montana only has 1.1 million people, 43rd in rank, but people probably put it in because if they don't, other people will drop in to make sure and add it. Everyone doesn't know the law in all the other states. Because it's the internet, and if you post as if all states are at will, some asshole will spend the next 4 hours dragging the thread sideways trying to show how much smarter they are. Because everyone in this context is usually our legal advice, and no one there knows this because they don't know what at will employment is and confuse it for union versus right to work states. C because phrasing things that makes them feel smarter. And people think that, if you live in Montana, your job is somehow safe. It's not. All it means that in Montana, employers have to give a reason for termination. They can simply say poor performance if you made one small mistake, or poor attendance if you were 3 minutes late one day, and be done with it. Unless you work in HR, why would you know employment laws for states you've never lived in? We all only know somewhere out there is not at will. Now those of us here know it is Montana. I only live in one state, so I don't know the laws of the other states. Honestly, I've only now at 41 even heard the term. I've never had a situation arise where I need to know it. For me, I've got a lot going on already. I'm not sure where I can fit, memorize labor laws in all 50 states for no particular reason on my list anytime soon. Are you asking why don't other people know what I know? There is an interesting discussion to be had around what is common knowledge. The answer is usually not very much. Specialists in an area always know way more than that. When did 4,950 all align and pass that law? Like how much did that change over time? Maybe it was 3,550 at some point? I don't know either. Because Reddit won't ban the state of Montana. There is the assumption by a lot of people that at will and right to work are the same thing. At will means both the employee and the employer can end their employment agreement at any time. There is no obligation by either side to stay for a predetermined amount of time before quitting or firing. At will is the standard way Americans have been dealing with employment for decades and longer. This isn't anything new. Right to work is a law that prohibits contracts that require workers to join a union or pay union dues in order to get or keep a job. There are also laws that require unions to represent all the workers in their shop. The intent is to make it harder for unions to collect the necessary money an organization needs to function. It also prevents them from being able to recruit or unionize other workplaces. Exact same reason when non-US people ask you where you were from as an American. You just skip "im" from the use America and just say "im" from state, because that's guaranteed the next question. Answer: it's because we didn't know until you just now told us. They are just reciting previous Reddit comments that they read. TIL about Montana being the only non-at-will state. THX.